Hello, welcome back. I've got another video and another modification for you today. Today we are going to be doing a modification on the Mk4 Golf, and as you can see we're in the Mk4 Golf that I've wanted to do for ages, to be honest. It's been one of those things that was always a nice to have, never actually got around to doing. So today I am going to be swapping the steering wheel for an aftermarket. I have bought a new kit, second-hand one, which looks really good off eBay. We'll go through the unboxing and I'll show you what that's all about. I've never done this modification before on any of my previous vehicles, so this is brand new to me. So I'm going to be bringing it brand new to you from me, and we'll be learning as we go. So yeah, hopefully you'll find this video useful. Let's get stuck in.
Yo, it's Slick Rick, spanner in hand, on the drive with a real one stand. Fix a beamer, tweak it up, V-dub. Save your cash, don't need the club. We got talk, we got band up.
Okay, so before we get started, I think we better just have a quick unboxing. Let's have a quick look at what we've actually got and what we've got to try and get fitted today. So yeah, so this is literally like I said, this is a used item, and this is literally how it came to me. So this is our first box. In fact, what I've got is in fact, leave that. So opening the first box, I've got a brand new OMP little horn, which is quite cool. I've got a nicely wrapped OMP wheel. Now it's a 300mm. I know there's slightly smaller, there's a 280 available, but I didn't want it tiny, do you know what I mean? I wanted it to still be quite usable, so I figured the 300 would be a good size to work with. But considering it's a used item, I don't know if you can really see, but it's not got much wear or anywhere that's even really noticeable. It's in really good shape. A few like marks around there, and that hopefully will give it a little bit of a polish, and that should just come out a bit of a clean. And coming off with my fingers just now, so that should be absolutely fine. And the horn sits in the middle. We've got a Boss, an OMP Boss, but because it came off a Lupo, I don't think, because of that little thing, it looks more like it will fit more of an older school type Mark II Golf, perhaps Mark III Golf, or Polo, maybe like Mark IIF, Mark II, something like that. I know the spline's quite large in the middle, but they've kind of operate with this little thing which knocks the indicators off and stuff, and then this is a connection between the connectors for the horn and stuff like that. But it's got all the screws in there, a little bit of a wire which is off the Resistor kit. Resistor kit in the box, which I bought from OMP. Didn't cost a fortune, I think it was about £6 delivered. You get the, I'll show you this more later. I think that wire that I just pulled out, that extra little wire I just pulled out the hub, the Boss, I think is also included in there. There seems to be a black wire with a connector, I think it's the same thing. And the resistor, it's just with a 2 amp fuse attached to the end. Stops your airbag light coming on. I don't know if you can see that, it says it on the front there. There's a bit of a part number and stuff, so if you need that, which you probably do, you'll be able to get it anywhere, to be honest with you. I bought this off eBay, OMP shop on eBay. Like I said, it was about £6 delivered. I'm going to break the bank. Because I wasn't too sure about the fitment on the steering wheel, I've literally ordered another kit as well. I've just ordered a generic sort of standard sort of hub, which apparently should fit the Mark IV. I'll just show you how this is slightly different to the other one. So we've got in our kit, we've got multiple fitment, so I'm guessing that's for like OMP, Momo, or whatever your aftermarket steering wheel brand potentially might be. should fit this because it's multi-stud pattern. I think they only do 2 pattern sizes. Bolts and a little Allen key. A little fitment ring, which I'm not too sure what that's for just yet, but I think it's something to do with the horn by the looks of it. Inside there is a red wire attached, which will be for the horn, and on the back it's flat, and it's flat, but it's got a little cutout, which is just about there, which you can see, and that comes from the steering wheel, and you feed all your airbag stuff inside it, just to keep it sort of safe and out of the way so it doesn't get snagged and stuff. That goes inside, and then you connect it up to the horn. And then finally, a slim snap off. Another boss to go in between the boss and the steering wheel. This one, with the click of a button, releases the hub, so you can take the steering wheel off. I quite like this one, and I deliberately went for this one over the other ones because it's so slim. I didn't want anything too deep. I'd heard online that sometimes when you have a snap off and you have a boss, they get further and further away from the wipers and indicators and stuff, and it feels a bit unnatural. You've got to kind of relearn where they are a little bit. So I wanted it as close to original as possible, so hopefully this slim kit will allow that to happen. So that's it. So let's see if we can get the steering wheel off. Okay, so initially I'm armed with just a few basic tools at the moment. I've got screwdrivers of varying size, and the reason for that is I need to ping off the steering wheel initially. So the best way to do it is to adjust the steering so it's in its closest position to you. Because what I don't want to have to do is I've got the boost gauge, which is up at the top, and I don't want to have to take all the clocks out. Or as you can see, I've already disconnected the battery, which is something you should do. Give it maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes for any live systems, that hold on to any sort of power or anything like that to die and discharge. And then I think you should be absolutely fine to crack on. This has been sat for a little longer than 15 minutes, so I'm just going to crack on with it because I know that everything should be discharged by now. And what I need is access. So what, like I said, I don't want to take the gauge off, and I don't want to take these gauges out. Hopefully I want to be able to leave everything where it is, but what I need to access this hole with one of the little screwdrivers. I've got the steering wheel in as far out position as possible, so I can get whichever screwdriver I decide to go for in the back. You can see I've got plenty of room with these choices. Even the longest one that I picked up with the biggest head, there is enough room to do what I need to do. And then obviously we need to rotate the steering wheel around so I can access the one that's on the underside, because there's one in the exactly opposite position. So our holes as we see them, they're roughly here. So as I clip one off at the back, I need to rotate the steering wheel. Obviously there's no power steering because the engine's off and the battery's disconnected, which is going to be a bit of a wrestle. But then I need to access the other one, which is on the underside, so I need that to be exposed. So I'm going to expose this one at the top, which is where it is, and then I'm going to rotate the steering wheel so that I can get access it from the other side, which will be here. So literally like that. And it might be worth fixing it in position as well, so it's not swinging around all over the place, which might be good. Okay, let's get that steering wheel off. Okay, so I'm just going to take a screwdriver. I'm going to try with my medium size one, just to remind you, I have 3. I have a little stubby, which should actually do the job as well. Let's open the door a little bit. It's really warm in Lancashire today. The sun's been out for a couple of weeks. It's been really, really warm. But I think all that's about to change. The skies are gone wonderfully grey again. Just to remind you, we're in Lancashire. Can't complain, it has been nice. Oh, hang on a minute. Something's occurring. just had something happen. That's just released. You see how that stuck out? So my advice would be, because I had a couple of different screwdrivers on the go, my advice would be the sort of slimmer blade. There's like an initial in there. There's like an initial, if you can see. There's like an initial metal piece there. You get the reflection on that. You need to go inside that with the flat blade kind of sort of at an angle. I know this is probably a really crap description. Kind of like, if you imagine it on a clock, it'd be like 240 sort of position. You know, with the sort of like a diagonal sort of angle, 240 for example, and then you kind of shove it in, and you kind of move it, like you kind of shove it in at a shallow angle, and then move it towards you, and it just clicked it out. I'll see if I can catch it again when I do the other side. So this time I'm going at, say, 455, 450, something like that. I'll shove it in as low as I can, and then lift. Yeah, the airbag's moving. There we go, popped out. That's it. I'll just show you what's happened. Now we've got this side out. Oh, and with a bit of a tug, it all comes off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disconnect it from there. So all I've done is I've just disconnected the yellow from there, and I think the other one is the brown, which is connected on the edge just there. So I'm going to try and wiggle that one free. There we go. There we go. This one looks like a little spring-loaded thing. There we go. There we go. So it's got a little, it's got like a little hook. So what you've got to do is you've got to squeeze it so that the little hook comes out. There must be like a little recess inside there. So to get that out, that is in there. You just squash it in so that little spade, little angled piece here comes out of the bit that goes inside there, and it just pings out, and then that is the airbag free. And then all we need to do is undo that. I say all. Well, I'm just going to set this to one side. Okay, so I've just gone and got some tools. I've just picked up the CRV12. I don't know if that's the actual size of it. I'm guessing it is number 12 in the box, and that fits perfectly in the middle of the hub. Steering wheel keys out. It might be worth locking the steering wheel. There we go. I've just got the gun, trusty gun. Okay, I'll tell you what as well, it's in the lock position at this moment in time. That is exactly straight, so it might be worth, if you're kind of having it in a similar sort of position, lock it in the straight on position. You know then as well that when you put the boss on and you put the steering wheel on it, ultimately it's going to be in the right position. This is now loose. You need to keep this. You'll need this again, and this probably. And the steering wheel is free. Wicked. So there's the old wheel, there's the new, so it is smaller. Put that down there out of the way. That's cool. Look at the size of that, that is wicked. That is nice. Looks properly good. I might get a cloth actually, that's pretty minging. You know, everywhere there's plastic in the car, you always have that, well, the Volkswagens of this era always seem to have that soft touch stuff that seems to go absolutely disgusting and really sticky, and everywhere, like on the doors and everything, all the door grab handles. Excuse me. I've tried to clean it off using a bit of like white spirit and patience. I've tried to rub it off. I've not done it on this side because it's not so bad, although it is a little bit tacky. It's not so bad right now actually. I was just debating whether I'm actually going to take it off or not. I don't think I'm going to bother. I'm probably just going to get the dust off. But anyway, so our boss essentially needs to sit on there. We've got these two little pins which need to line up with the back of the boss. We need to take our electrical connector, oh god, off here. When you're trying to get your screwdriver through from the opposite side, where's my screwdriver gone? So when you're feeding from the back, put your screwdriver in the hole, it comes through. So when you stick it in at an angle, I think it was, I can't remember the time reference that I gave, but if you see, when you put it in, what you're trying to do is you're trying to hook the metal finger, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the screwdriver in the back at an angle. So for reference now, if that steering wheel's straight, it is maybe 240, say. That goes in. I hope you can see this. You can just hook it on the back and you're just pulling it so your hand goes towards the edge of the steering wheel, and it just on the inside moves it like that. And then the same for the opposite side. So you flip it over. So say 450, I think I said was the time on the clock. If you shove that in at 450, you should just be able to catch the other side. And that should just be a case of just moving that out as well. And my hand is just going from where it is towards the outer edge, and it just moves across just like that. And that's how you remove it. Yeah, cool. There's loads of videos online as well, which tell you need to remove all the instrument cluster and take off all this stuff, and you know, but that just proves that you can actually do it without removing anything, to be honest with you. I think having the steering wheel in the furthest position forward helps. So in terms of the airbag, I believe this little connector just pops out. There we go. So that little connector pops out. This, I believe, is where our little resistor goes out of the resistor kit. So that goes back in there, as it did. These wires are for the horn. Positive, I'm guessing, is brown. Black is negative. That needs our resistor in it. We need our hub. I keep calling it a hub because it says hub at the top and it keeps catching my eye, and I keep calling it a hub. It's a boss kit for a Golf 4. All the instructions are in Chinese, which is mega helpful. Is there any indications to which way up is up? There's not really. So there's no indication on this one, probably because it's a cheapo, which way is up. This is essentially it, without the sort of little shroud on it, without the boot. From having watched other videos, there's a hole at the top, so I'm going to assume that is our top. I don't think we need this, and I don't think we need it because we have these things here, and these lugs there line up with these lugs there to do that, which gives us our top. So I'm going to leave that off for now, and if it's wrong I'm going to have to redo it, but I'm going to assume all is well. Let's have a quick comparison. Well, it feels good at the moment with that slim. Yeah, with the slim one it's just a little bit far away, isn't it? Flipping heck, because they really can be quite deep. It's worthwhile taking a minute just to kind of line it up and stuff to make sure. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's well off. I've made it worse. it's worthwhile doing this now and getting it properly lined up before you get it all bolted back together and then realise you're a mile out. That's it, right there. And the reason for this as well, if you don't know, and the reason for the sort of shape of it, it's because you got rid of your airbag and whatever. This is actually a crush zone. So if you're driving and the steering wheel, you know, you have an accident, it crumples. It's just a little bit more forgiving than just hitting something a bit more rock solid. But we don't want to really think about dying. Not if we can help it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install this first. I'm going to put this back in. So get my dugger. That's it. Don't want it ridiculous, but you don't want it loose either. Get off. So that should be good and tight now. Good and tight. So we had the extra wire, didn't we? And what I might need to do is, if I can attach that, if I can reuse this would be great, because it means I can put the original steering wheel back on if I need to. I might just flatten that down using some pliers, see if I can connect this to this, get a bit of tape around it so it doesn't contact anything else while it's in there, and then this I'll put a little spade connector on the end of there, and that can connect to this, and then that way, yeah, I'm not cutting anything. I don't like to cut stuff if I can avoid it. So yes, let's work with that principle in mind. I need some spade connectors. Okay, so I've just got one. I've got my kit. I've got one of these. If you've not got one, you might need one. It literally strips wires and it crimps these things, little spade connectors, and that's just essentially what we need. I take this, I'm going to try and flatten it. I'm talking funny because I've got one of these spade connectors in my mouth. I apologise for that. I'll put that out of the way. I'm going to take that, I'm going to try and flatten that down so that it can be reversed if we need it to be. And look at that, it just goes nice, easy. So that is now beautifully flat. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take our wire, because I didn't know what this was before. I just thought it was just a leftover sort of remnant from the airbag sensor thing, but I think this looks like somebody's done something like this in the past. So I am going to do what I think is the same. I'm just going to pop that in there, crimp that down. I don't know if you can see, I don't even know if it's worth seeing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Squash that flat. Alright, so I've got my wider bit of heat shrink now. That should go over there comfortably. I didn't want it too big, but to be honest, I want the wires covered. So hopefully this thing won't need a positive and a negative on the back. I genuinely haven't got a clue, but let's go with the trail of thought that I had before, that goes onto the back of there. It'll go onto one of them. I'm going to guess it's that one. And then that one can be the earth, which might just need to connect to that, to be honest. Okay, over to the resistor kit now. So, oh, there's the spare wire. So if you just untangle that, there is another wire. So it looks like I had a spare one that came with the wheel. But yeah, whatever. There it is. So I don't need that. I'm going to put that back in the bag. I can live down there. So this is our resistor. 2 wires. They're the same colour. It doesn't matter which way they go when it goes into there, as long as it just goes in. It just tells the system that the airbag resistance is absolutely fine. I wonder if my magic heat shrink is going to fit over there. I'll bet you a tenner I've got a piece that does. Yes, it will. It'll just, if I give it a bit of a, come on. That'll just perfectly cover that up. So that's good now. That is not going to come off. So all I'm doing, I'm modifying as I go. So all I'm doing is I'm just thinking if I can get this to point inwards. If it sits on top of there, then with our connection on the inside, it'll make for a neater job then, won't it, when the boot goes over the top. So then we need to put our sleeve over the top. That's pretty cool, that, to be honest. I really like the size of this, and I like the fact that I've just tucked that wire inside there as well. It feels like that's where it should be. I'll probably bite me in the ass later when I try to put the little thing on it. It don't fit. Anyway, we'll see. So now we've got the slim boss. Thinking that might need to connect to the back of there. Oh, there we go. And then that will need to connect to the steering, to the horn itself, the little push button. Yeah, that makes sense. So when that is connected to there, typically this little Spade is too big for this. Well, like I said, I don't like to cut wires, so I'm going to have to add a little bit. Just getting out of the car just then, what you don't want to do while the steering wheel's in the out position is catch your knee on the top underneath there. I've just skinned my knee. My God. I'm flipping it. So what I've just done, been to the garage, I've just filed down one of these little Spade connectors, and this now should snugly, yes it does, should snugly sit in there, which is great. And I think what I'm going to do is that extra wire that I had earlier, I didn't really have any use for, I'm going to use that. Okay, so what am I going to do? Right, so I think next steps would be to mount the wheel to this. Okay, so I've just had a quick read of the instructions. I figured it'd be worth doing. So apparently the way this goes, I've just grabbed some Allen keys because I need to just extract these. Nope, not that one. From my current boss, which I'm not going to be using. Oh, because that's the one off the loophole, which I don't think. Oh, brilliant! I've just lost it. So I just need to just get these out, because apparently what I need to do is attach the wheel to this and then press the button and it should release. So let's do that. It's feeling nice. I'm excited. Come on. Come on. I'll nip these up properly at the end. I just want to get that quick release element off. Ah, you twist it. There we go. There we go. It twists. I was trying to pull it off before. It twists off. Right. So that can now go on there. I'm going to use just one screw, really quick. We are recording. Yep, that's excellent. One screw, really quick. I just want to make sure the position of this is correct. Tell you what, let's just bang a few more screws back in it. Just to make sure. Well, what I might have to do is, if the steering wheel isn't in the exact right position, I might have to take this off again and reposition it. But let's nip it all up. Let's assume that we've done the right thing first time. That would be nice. Again, I don't think these need to be super tight, just tighten off. I get it. The steering wheel goes on. Oh yeah, that's it. How good does that look? That's great. I'm really liking that. cool. That back where we were. That's a beaut, that is. Well impressed. That, I'm guessing, out of the two, I'm going to go with that one. Looks like it's connected to the middle. So I'm just going to connect that on there. That looks sick. Really like that. Brilliant. Where's my cloth? Look at that little racing wheel. How good is that? Still recording, aren't we? Excellent. Yeah. Let's connect the battery. Start the engine up and see if that airbag light is off, and if the battery, sorry, if the bag light is off, we should be good. So we've got lights. Where's our airbag? Gone. Look at that. Brilliant.
Yo, it's Slick Rick, spanner in hand. On the drive with a real one stand. Fix a beamer, tweak a dub, V-dub. Save your cash, don't need the club. We got torque, we got band up. WD-40 like holy water from the canister. Oil stains, badger pride. We're wrenching hard on the curbside.
No! No, it doesn't work. You know what I need to do now.
Track day vibes, we don't stall. Pit lane dreams with a half a tool. Tune in now, go on, have a go. Keep it rolling like a pro. Rust in the arch, no drama. Bit of elbow grease, no need for alarm. Trauma lance, MOT due, chill, relax. I got tips to dodge them fells and tax. German steel, old but gold. Keeping legends on the road and bold. BMWs and V-dubs too, showing love like real ones do. On the drive, this.
So that's it. Steering wheel's in. New extra bit of security, so the car won't ever go missing now, because obviously you can't drive it off. Hopefully found it useful. It'll serve as a bit of inspiration for if you decide to have a go at this yourself. I honestly didn't know what to expect, and it went a lot smoother than I expected it to. It took me about an hour, all in. Obviously I think the video hopefully will be edited down to a lot less than that, maybe 20-25 minutes tops, hopefully. But yeah, if you're better at wiring than I am, let me know where I went wrong with the horn. Let me know in the comments, and I will I'll have a look at that at a later date. But I'm super happy with it. I think it's great. I really like the upgrade. I think it looks really cool, and it's a nice little security thing as well to be able to take the steering wheel off. So yeah, hopefully you found it useful. Like and subscribe. There's a couple of videos at the end for other modifications that we've been doing to the Golf. Please consider having a click and having a watch, and thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time.
In the garage under the bright light, Slick Rick's got the tools ready to ignite. With a wrench in hand, he shares his know-how. Teaching the world, come on, let's get it now. Oil changes, brakes, and mufflers too. He's breaking it down, showing what to do.